everyone for coming tonight. It is quite cold, so making the effort to be here. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for inviting me today to here. I'm very proud of my title as the Lord Mayor of Sheffield, and it is quite a lonely path when you decide to put yourself out there. I am the first of 128 years, first black Muslim woman with hijab, without a hijab, but Somali and migrant that represents refugees as my family has come. With that comes many challenges. It means that you revamp the office, you make sure that you have a prayer room, you make sure that you are in such a good behaviour or even diplomatic behaviour, but you also make sure that you make people uncomfortable with your hijab. You sit in spaces and you access spaces that you may have not been invited as a not being a Lord Mayor, but today with this simple necklace that belongs to Sheffield, they do invite you into spaces and welcome your spaces. Women in leadership is very honoured thing here in Sheffield, but it still needs that push to continue to put yourself on tables that you will ignore to invite to. But you make sure that there's no such thing as invitation. If you recognize that your community needs that voice around that table, you make sure that you take your seat with you, because no one will give you a space in that table. And usually what I hear is a quote that if you're not around sitting on that table, you're probably on the menu. So you make sure that your voice reaches and your community voices reaches to these spaces. I have a lot of faith in Sheffield as a city. It's a city of sanctuary, but also it's a city of compassion. People up there, once we change and we follow in terms of what we do, and they see this kind of unity, things up there can change. But if you want to feel the impact, it's bottom up and grassroots communities and groups, their voices are heard by putting ourselves forward as a representation. So again, thank you for inviting me to the Children's Aid here in close to Ramadan. I want to begin to congratulate everyone here who has worked really passionately and thoughtfully to bring this event together. With the arrival of Ramadan, this is a powerful moment for us to slow down, reflect, and prioritize what truly matters. Our children are our future. We always say that typically. And tonight reminds us that while we care deeply of our own children, we must also think of children across the world who do not have the same access of food, to education, healthcare, safety, laughter, and love. I brought my own children here, and my family and my colleagues here today, that can bear witness the power of coming together in unity and diversity. It is vital that we pass this pattern on to the next generation. But in order for them to lead, we must first educate them, not only academically, but in adab, in tarbiyah, in compassion, in the mercy of Allah. We must teach them responsibility, generosity, and services, and how to serve. And that can only happen when you lead by example. For many of us, we give subconsciously, but we must go further. As you know, child poverty has no identity, it has no religion, it has no colour. It's a basic human right, and we must act now. Yes, of course, dollars, money, moolah, ching-ching is a part of the solution. But it's not the only solution. We must also share our resources, our influence, our connections. We must use our platforms to give children and those advocates advocating for them a seat around that table. They need a voice, they need representation, they need us, they need opportunities. It is not enough to vote for the better. Okay, let's make a plan. Of course, with that majority, together we can make included in everything we do. We must secure it. That means advocating them today so that tomorrow they are empowered, confident and able to shape their own destiny. Let us ensure that our children do not spread division, but unity. Let us raise a generation that understands that giving is not an optional, it's a part of who we are. Also, I'll ask you all to support. Support with your donations, support with your time, support with your influence, but most importantly, support by educating and empowering the next generation and to carry the responsibility forward. So today, what we want from you is a commitment to support of what you can do. It could be a picture, it could be a post, it could be a poem, it could be adding them and having a conversation in your next meeting. The point is, you are not supporting the children's aid, you are supporting the message of the children's aid. So together, as we are chatting, try to network tonight, try to enjoy tonight, and making sure that you understand that your children and your children's children understand what it means by not having too much toys, it could be too much money, it could be too much trips, and understand why you chose certain things for them so they can carry the legacy of your generosity tomorrow. Thank you.
We appreciate your attendance, thank you.